just because I said I haven't had a weld failing me yet. I had a weld failing me. So I'm driving home and my Jeep starts real bad and it calms down and does it again and calms down. So I was like, well, I know it's not the ball joints and I know it's not the tie rods. What could it be? I was like, man, it's part of that track bar. So I was supposed to bolt this track bar up and you're supposed to drill all the way through the frame. And I didn't want to drill through the frame, so instead I welded the bracket. If you come here and look at this bracket right here, they're terrible welds, and you'll be able to see on the video. So after 2.5 years of having that welded up, it finally broke. And I think the track bar is something that does take quite a bit of abuse when you off-road because all the articulation and flexing and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised that it broke. It's what holds the body and the frame center over the axle. So a lot of vibrations and jars go to that. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and then re-weld it and see if I can't lay a little bit better of a bead with this little 110 and get it fixed before we go out of town.
Hold still. What do you think it was?
All right, so I'm gonna take a grinder. I'm gonna grind this weld out here. And I'm gonna grind this weld out down here in the bottom if I can get in there. And then this is kind of cracked right here. So what I'll probably do is I'll run a bead across here. I'll plug weld this, re-weld that, and see if that's good enough. I could probably weld the inside because there's another bracket here on the inside. And like I said, you're supposed to bolt it through, but I really hate drilling, especially because I have this bad tendency that whenever I have something I'm supposed to drill through, I'll drill through like this and then I'll end up drilling some which other way and I never get the hole straight. And you're supposed to drill it perfectly through on both sides, and I just don't have that kind of luck where I can drill through a frame and go 2.5 inches and get that dead center of drilling this hole here on the other side. I'm just not great at drilling like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and re-weld it. Like I said, I'll just cut these off and re-weld it. Cost to run 220 out here and go and just spend $1,000 and get a 220 gas shield welder. I don't know how much that costs, but what I like about this little guy is you can use it anywhere. As long as you can use a generator, anything, you know.
Oh, lost power.
Yeah.
Turn the breaker back on.
Yeah, I might just plug weld this bottom one just because it cracked right there. So I think if I plug weld it right there, it'll help prevent it from cracking again. You know, nothing else will just make me feel better. If I hide back here. Good enough. Fancy. Every time better than what it was. Well, I'll let it cool down. And clean the flux off of it. Hit it with some paint. Unfortunately, I don't have no flat black paint. That's what I prefer to paint on stuff with. Got some gloss paint. This is better than nothing. Seems like I got that 10-pound spool of wire on there, and having it on speed number 4, really messes up the wire feed. Turning it down to 3 really made a big difference. Really made a big difference on the way the wire feed was. So it was just about the ugliest booger welds. And I tell you, if you learn how to run a bead with this thing, you can run a bead with anything. I get to work on our 220 gas shield, and I'll lay some dimes with that MIG welder. And I get all confident, and I come home and I start welding with this thing. And it's just like, what is going on, man? I'm happy with the price, and so far this is the only weld that has broken out of the 3-4 years that I've had this thing. So, and turning the wire feed down made a big difference. The wire comes out significantly slower, so I got to slow down my stroke. But what I do on a hole. Now, I do say so myself. That's some shameful welds right there. Oh man, that is awful. But this has held up for 2.5 years, these welds. Yeah. Because I've had this lift kit for 2.5. And instead of bolting it, I just welded it up. And it was way worse than what this is. And this is bad. Don't get too close, man. Don't show them how, just let them take my word, man. That's a terrible weld. Woo! That's ugly. I need to get a better welder. I really do, man. Still too hot to paint, so I gotta let the temperature come down.
The hotter it is, the faster the paint dries.
Yeah, the hotter it is, the more it bubbles and burns it off, and then
it just dries it faster.
It's like baking it, right?
Yeah.
Got this big air pocket there. All right, well, let's let this cool down and we'll come back and paint.
Dad, I turned my hand around. Now what are you doing, Dad? I closed my hand on him so he can stay alive.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna go. Can you get that one?
Me?
Yep. Watch your head, watch your head. Thank you, buddy.
It's that kid flexibility.
Yeah. With full mobility. Okay, here. Put it on for me. Rotate it.
Which one?
Or like this. Towards you. Let me see, do it. Yep. Like that. Go until it can't go no more. Oh, that's good. Thank you. Alright, so it went from being an unbearable around 45-50 miles per hour to just a normal wobble. It's always had a wobble. I hit bumps at certain speeds and there will be a wobble, and it'll kind of, and then it'll stop. And you hit a bump and it'll wobble a little bit and it'll stop. But the last 2 days, man, it's just been and it goes, and I have to hit my brakes real hard or accelerate aggressively. If accelerating doesn't fix it, I have to come on the brakes real hard. So welding that up seemed to eliminate that issue. I'm pretty sure the tie rod ends, the drag link might be worn out. The ball joints have just been done 6 months ago with the ball joint delete, so I know it's not that. So it's either the track bar bushings or the tie rod ends and the drag link. But I'm going to call that good for now. And then later on, I might go ahead and replace the tie rod ends and the drag link whenever we get back from Missouri later on in the year. So we'll see how it goes. But let's get this fab table done.